Hi everyone, Jon Friedberg here with another episode of Stacking Chips, your strategy source for the 2007 World Series of Poker, the Bellagio Cup, and the dozens of other events going on right here in lovely Las Vegas. I have a great guest on the show today. We've had a couple emails coming in that asked me to get him on the show, and he's a good friend of mine, so I went ahead and invited him on. His name is Cowboy Kenna James. Kenna's here today, so I'm going to make my intro very quick so we can get to Kenna. I know he's a talker, and I know he's going to have a lot to say, so I'm looking forward to having Kenna on the show. He'll be here in a minute. So yesterday was the $1,500 pot limit Omaha 8 or better tournament. It was the first time the World Series has run a tournament of that kind of game. It was a very interesting game. Pot limit Omaha, high-low split, it's a gamble game. I mean, I really predicted that half the field would be gone in the first hour, and half the field wasn't, but I was. I didn't last too long in that event. I was caught up in one hand where I played a 9-10-10 jack that was double suited, and long story short, on the turn, the board read ace, 8, 10, deuce with 2 clubs and 2 hearts. And I'm sitting on, again, the 9-10-10 jack with the 9 jack of clubs. And so I have second set. This is, by the way, an unraised pot pre-flop. So I didn't think anyone had pocket aces. But so I have second set. There's no straight out there, but I am open-ended also. I also have a decent flush draw. And so I get all my, well, I got most of my chips in the pot. There was a bet, a call, and I potted it to like 1,800 or something, leaving myself with about 900 in chips. And the river is the absolute worst card for me in the deck. It's a 5 of hearts, which not only puts a wheel out there, but it puts a heart flush out there. And of course, the guy under the gun, or the first position on the river, just he puts his last 1,000 all in. Another guy calls 1,000. I can't even call. I mean, I know they're both sitting on the low, so I'm trying to get all their money in there so I can scoop the high. But unfortunately, the river card beat me twice. It put the heart flush out there without pairing the board, and it also made their nut lows straight. So even if they didn't have the flush, even if neither of them had a heart or had the 2 hearts in their hand, I know at least one of them just made a wheel against me, which kills my set. So that was, I think I was probably a very good favorite there to at least take the high hand for half the pot. But unfortunately, this is pot limit Omaha. It's a crazy game with big swings, and more often than not, you just have to get your chips in with the best hand and just hope that it holds up. But more often than not, it seems like the hands don't hold up because there's so much volatility in the game when you're playing 4 cards and there's highs and lows and lots of crazy action. Anyway, so that's it. I'm actually going to be taking the next couple of days off to enjoy some golf. I'm not going to be playing in any World Series tournaments. My next event will be Thursday in the $5,000 short-handed no-limit hold'em event. It's a 6-handed event. I did well in the last 6-handed event. I enjoy playing short-handed, so I'm going to take a couple days off, golf, enjoy myself, relax, maybe go to the gym a little bit, and come back on Thursday to hopefully do well in the $5,000 short-handed hold'em tournament. All right, well, that's good for now. Let's get Kenna James on the show. Again, Kenna's a good friend of mine. He's had a lot of success over the last few years. He's one of the most well-known players in poker simply because he has such a great personality. He gets a lot of TV time. He's definitely a table talker as well as a great player. Let's get him on. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenna James. Kenna, thanks for coming on the show, man. Glad to have you here.
John, great to be here.
So how's the World Series treating you so far?
So far, no results. I came close in Limit Hold'em, 37th, but they only paid 27, so that was a blank. But it's Limit Hold'em today, so I'm feeling good about that.
All right. So you have a pretty unusual background for a poker player. You have lots of background in acting and singing. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in poker.
Wow. Yeah, I was an actor. I was doing a film in Florida, actually, and I came back. I lost my agent, and I got tired of pounding the pavement. And a friend of mine said, you should play poker. I didn't know how to play poker at the time. And so I started dealing cards, actually, to kind of learn the game and found my way in that way. And I just had a passionate desire. I felt I started out playing $1 and $2 limit hold'em. and just slowly moved up to 3-6, 10-20, 20-40, and that's when there was smoking in the card rooms, and so it's been a hell of a journey. And I worked my way into tournament director, started directing tournaments around the world, and and was playing at the same time, and then just found some success, especially starting in 2002.
Well, I mean, your results show now. In the last couple of years, you've had some huge finishes, and I believe you cashed for over $2 million in the last few years.
Close to $3
million. Okay. So you've had quite a bit of success in tournament poker. You're one of the most well-known players from all the TV time and everything you receive.
I've been blessed. It's been a great journey. I've met so many great people around the world. It's an individual sport, but you're supported by so many people: your family, your friends, your fans, and it's been a great journey.
Well, I saw an interview with you once where you said that people at the table oftentimes don't want to knock you out of a tournament because they enjoy you being there so much. Because you are very vocal on the table. You're always in good spirits. You always have a smile on. Right. Even if you just took bad beats, I've played with you quite a bit. You are a pleasure to play with, so to speak. That didn't sound right, but it is fun having you at the table. But let's talk a little bit about that.
I mean, when you're doing something you love to do. I mean, we're traveling around the world playing poker. We were playing in Australia just a few months ago together, and now we're here in Las Vegas. It's a dream job. And if you can't be happy and excited about this, when people are out there in 110-degree heat, I got a friend out there, who's an electrician, and or they're out there digging ditches. You can't, if you don't really appreciate the pleasures of this job and the joy, then you should be doing something else. So I just wear my emotions on my sleeve. I let it show, and I try to also infect my opponents with that, because that makes them more relaxed and also easier to read. So you do a lot of table talking, but very different from Jamie Gold's style of table talking. But so what type of information are you able to extract from your opponents by talking to them at the table? Well, sometimes it's not information; it's body language. When they're relaxed, and free to be who they are. And not just stone-faced and being, the poker face. You can pick up a lot. And it's just, and you're also giving a lot. Some players believe that, don't give anything. But it's almost impossible not to communicate something because, communication is, like they say, 10% verbal and 90% body language. So how can you keep all that in? I can't. So rather than try to keep it all in, I just go overboard and just try and flood with over-information. So now they don't know what to think. And that's pretty much how people view me. Just a mass confusion. And mass confusion, don't know if he's crazy, funny, an idiot. I was watching an interview of the WPT one time, and Tim Fan said they were asking him about me, and he says, he's a goof, He's a goof.
Well, you definitely have a very unique style of play.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I understand that, but it's mine, and that's the interesting thing about poker is you've had some great success, and we have totally different styles, and there isn't one way. There's many ways to the winner's circle, and here's two examples right here. And playing with you over the years, it's great to see because I always pegged you as a very conservative, tight, solid player, and now you're experiencing all these great results recently, just opening up your game.
I've listened up a lot.
Yeah.
It's made a big difference.
Coming outside the box, so to speak, huh?
Yeah. Well, with the influx of all these younger players into the game, mostly from the internet, they're all playing so differently now. I think the conservative players that sit around and wait for aces and kings, they have no shot anymore. You really have to get creatives with your 6-8s and your 5-7s, and sometimes not even look at your cards and just play whatever hand.
It's interesting you say that because that's how I used to play, and now I'm fighting back for the old style. Where it was, in the '90s, it was no set, no bet. Yeah. Today it's bottom pair, all in. So, I'm trying to think that this game is so cyclical. It goes in cycles, and with everybody now out before the aggressive play really worked with the 5-7s, the 8-6 and things like that, out of position and doing two-way hands and all this kind of stuff really worked because you were facing players that were afraid to go broke. You were facing players who didn't want to call that big bet and risk going out of the tournament. Well, today I find that's changed. These players, the young internet players, the young 20s, they don't have any fear. They have all this courage and knowledge of the game, and they know the odds. They know that ace queen against ace king is only a 3-1 disadvantage. 10 years ago, it looked like it was 10-1. It was impossible to beat. So they're not afraid to stick their chips in. So I'm thinking that going forward, the strategy is going to bend more back. The cycle is going to go back more towards how I first envisioned when you were playing. And so where you came towards my style, I'm trying to get back now to your style. So it's a constant movement.
The two
strategy.
Work well against each other. So if everyone's waiting for ace king, then you're going to do very well with hands like the 5-7.
That's right.
Because you're going to get the conservative guys off their hands. Conversely, if everyone's playing the 5-7s and 6-8s, you're going to do great with the big cards.
That's right.
Because all you want to do is get your chips in. They're not scared to call.
So isn't that the opposite of what you said?
It is the opposite of what I said. And maybe that's why.
That's why we're here.
Right.
That's to set you straight.
But of course, it all varies by the table. It
does. Yeah.
And I was always told when the table's playing loose, you need to play tight. When the table's playing tight, you should play loose.
You read that in a book.
I actually didn't read that in the book.
You read that.
An old friend of mine told me that.
It also don't ever play against somebody who's eating a sandwich or eating. Phil Hellmuth did that to me one time. Did a reverse tell on me in the 15,000 at Bellagio. He got me all in at top pair, no flush draw. He had the aces who's reaching over, taking a bite of his sandwich. Right. He got me in, but don't worry, I sucked out on him. Didn't work.
Of course he did. That's what
of course you did.
So you have I see you're wearing Jack Daniels, Wrangler, WPA.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about, are these your sponsors? Are you bringing corporate sponsors into the marketplace?
Well, I hope to. I really do. I think that's the future of poker. Everybody is now, all the players, millions of people around the U.S. have realized, as Doyle said, how great this game is. And now it's time for corporate sponsorship to step up, and especially with all the advertising, the television time, internet, the blogs, everything that we do when we travel, it's worldwide. So I think it's time for these corporate sponsors to step up in sponsoring players and teams and make this and elevate the game even to the next level. And I hope to be one of the leaders in the forefront of that, and hoping to get Jack Daniels or Wrangler aboard, and so I'm going to do my part.
Well, I hope you do. I mean, certainly the exposure that these marketers would receive by endorsing players such as yourself and me and other big names in poker, it's tremendous exposure. I mean, it's
not only exposure, but this is the only sport where we're putting up all the money. I mean, even all the advertisers that are coming on for the World Series of Poker, that's not money that's going to us. In golf and even in pro bowling, you see that the players are benefiting from that sponsorship. And so I think for us to bring this game to the next level, where it's not about who has the most money, but it's really about a competitive spirit and strategy and a mind, a competition of the minds, battle of the minds, so to speak. That's fantastic. So hopefully that's my vision for the world of poker in the next 2 to 3 years.
I would love to see it happen, and it just seems like with every new industry, not that poker is new, but corporate sponsorships in poker is new, and every time it seems like you need those one or two innovative companies that aren't scared to sort of dabble in it.
That's right.
And once they have success, everyone floods to it.
Yeah, and I think they will, and I think that's a great point. And now that poker's become more of a legitimate sport, the rules are in place, it's monitored, it's out of the smoky back rooms and the stigmas of, in the 90s when we were playing at Hollywood Park. I remember I was directing tournaments, and people were afraid to tell their family and friends or their coworkers that they played poker. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And where we've come in 10 short years.
My mom would never tell her friends that her son played poker, and now she's
she's bragging
she's
about
the
it.
highlight of the party because everyone wants to ask questions about her son.
It's fantastic, isn't it? It's just
funny how much things have changed.
It really is. It really is. It's a great game.
So you're playing in the $2,000 limit hold'em tournament today.
2,000 limit hold'em. Like I said, this has been my best finishes in a limit hold'em so far. So I have high hopes today. I've got 6 or 7 more events before the main event. And so I try to look at the big picture because in poker, as you well know, if you didn't look at the big picture early on in your tournament poker career, you'd have already given up,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad you didn't. And it's just such great success. So I'm looking at the whole picture and saying, if I can just win one event, that's my goal. I'm sure it's a goal of thousands of people out there. But they're not at home in the morning jumping up and down going, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win. That's the secret,
Is that the secret?
Yeah.
Okay.
And to have the right songs on the iPod.
See, I thought it was the lucky parking spot at the casino. You
That's
have to
true,
find
too.
your one spot.
You have to envision it.
Definitely.
But, and then you got to have the right songs on the iPod.
Okay.
We Are the Champions, Rocky, theme from Rocky.
Yeah.
Another one, Bites the Dust.
Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. Stuff like that,
Right.
These are details, man.
Well, you've had a lot of success in limit hold'em. You had a huge finish at the Party Poker Cruise, right?
Yeah,
which
yeah,
was
yeah.
a limit hold'em tournament.
That's right. That's right. It was limit hold. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot about that.
So there you go.
There you
Kenna's
go.
going to win. Kenna's going to win.
I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win.
All right. Well, best of luck today, Kenna, and thanks again
my
for
man.
coming on the show.
Hey,
It's been great to have you
fantastic.
here.
All right, and much continued success. I'm really happy to see it, John, and it's great sitting next to
Thank you. And same to you.
Congratulations on your show.
Thanks.
Keep it up.
I will.
What show is this? What number is this?
It's number 1, baby. You're on the show.
This is number 1?
No, it's not really.
No. But you don't even know what. But when you get
It's
to number 100, you're
we're
gonna
right around what's today? The 26th. This is probably episode 26.
26. You see, now this is poker strategy. You see how I got him backpedaling a little bit, and I'm crouching in on his space, and he's moving it.
He's pretty
Stuff like
good, this
that.
guy.
Details. You'll
All
find
right.
God in the details, my friends.
All right. Well, that's today's episode for Stacking Chips. Make sure to tune in tomorrow and every day throughout the World Series for more strategy talk, discussions, interviews, and more right here on Card Player TV. And keep those emails coming into stackingchips@cardplayer.com. From Jon Friedberg and Kenna James, we're out of here. Good luck, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.